Horse Cavalry Detachment, which is led by the Marshal, Dacia Wells. They participated over a dozen times in the past, riding quarter horses and also draft mules here. And they're wearing uniforms that are a little newer than what we just saw. These are from the 1880s, U.S. Army historical uniform, which is around the time when the Rose Parade first started. It first started in 1890.
And it started with horses and carriages because cars were not available in that era. And then graduated, obviously, to cars. And, of course, the celebration of the electric car with our sponsor here.
And we're talking about the transformation of the military. You see this theme that's coming here. And part of all of that is because it is the 250th birthday of the United States Armed Forces. And that's really celebrated with the first ever Army float.
This is one of my favorite floats. We watched this come to fruition it was being built there. And look at the people that are there on the float celebrating this 250 years of service. There's a George Washington, a Tuskegee Airman, a Navajo code talker, and so many great American heroes there on this float, representing the diversity that they say makes America so great.
And sort of the entire span of the history of the Army, starting with George Washington. You see members of the military on board as well that are waving. They're using this as a way to try to recruit folks. This is so cool. I love these guys. These are mini therapy horses from near my hometown of Agoura Hills. These guys are from Calabasas, and look at what they do here. They provide so much joy. They've gone to Shriners Children's Hospital. They've been to the scene of mass casualties to try to help people. They work with the LA County Sheriff's Department. So these guys can do some really cool things. They perform tricks like high fives. They can smile on command, and they play the keyboard as well.
Let's talk about more animals here. This is the Pasadena Humane and Hills Pet Nutrition Welcome Home float. Look at the animated dogs there, but also on that float are 3 dogs, adoptable dogs for you to take home and love with your family. They're from Pasadena Humane. We've got Moto, Rex, and Alfie on that float. A reminder of the dogs that are needing homes in our communities.
And it was cool when these were being created. The dogs that these were based off of came and saw the float. So they modeled those after actual dogs, and they got to see themselves. And I think the dogs were a little confused by what was going on up there.
So many flowers.
Yeah.
Speaking of, 20,000 flowers used on this float. And about those dogs that are adoptable, one is 9 years old, a husky mix. Rex is 6 years old, a shepherd mix. Alfie, 4 months old, a terrier mix. Outstanding parade theme there.
Keep the animal theme going. Now we're moving on to bees. And this is from Kiwanis International, Being Together. They've been in the parade for 43 years, an estimated 24,000 flowers used on this one. There are 500,000 Kiwanis members around the world with 7.7 million hours of volunteer work. And being kind is part of what this is all about. You see those bees' wings flapping, and our thanks to the volunteers from Kiwanis.
So cool. I love the animation in these floats. All right, a band you must watch. This is the Kyoto Tachibana High School Green Band. They're from Japan. Take a look here closely. They say it's soon to be evolved into one of the oldest female marching bands in Japan. Let's listen into them. Matsu. It was the intent of improving girls and their health. Looking nice, ladies. Love that parade wave. And welcome to Southern California, all the way from Japan.
Yeah, that's so cool. They really do have that wave down. That's very well done.
You got to practice that all year long.
Very well choreographed.
This band founded in 1961. What a legacy here in Japan.
And coming up next
Love this one.
is a float that I think is going to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest hit of this entire parade.
Oh,
Wicked.
Wow.
You hear Defying Gravity from Cynthia Eriva playing. You see Elphaba right there flying and defying gravity. You see the Emerald City is part of this, as is Glinda. Look at Glinda and her hair and her crown and the contrast between the pink and the black and the green all combined. There you see the Emerald City of Oz represented. And a last-minute ad, John Chu, the director of Wicked, is also on this float as well. Hopefully we get a chance to see him. Wicked now available on demand if people want to check it out. Streaming tonight, or it started last night,
Where
New
did
Year's
they get
Eve.
the idea for a float like that? I have no idea.
It'd be the biggest cultural phenomenon. But look at the details when you really see all of this up close. It really is spectacular. And even look at, like, the hair is done with black curly seaweed for Elphaba there. And you can hear the music there. Have you seen it yet?
I have seen it, yes. I'm thinking, what a year for the actors. Oh, but we're going to move on to the band. This is the Pasadena City College Herald Trumpets. This is their 45th consecutive year announcing the Rose Queen and her royal court. Stand by for that. Let's hear the trumpets. There is the Rose Court float. Congratulations to them, led by the 106th Rose Queen, Lindsay Charles, and her court. Impressive young ladies, distinguished members of the community. They do so many service projects. They're just really wonderful young women, and we are so proud to celebrate them.
Lindsay Charles is a senior at Westridge School in San Marino. She's involved as the track and field co-president of food campaigns, the Gorillas Club, the STEMology for kids. She basically does it all. And she's fluent in Mandarin as well.
Well, I think we should give her the crown.
Yeah.
They look wonderful. It's such a tradition, such a part of this whole Rose Parade. And every year we love to announce on the news the Queen's court and the Queen, and just a spectacular time to be a young lady for these girls. Yeah, I love it.
Congratulations to them and to their families as well.
Yes.
Parents, you did good. And it'll be interesting to see what college they choose to enter as well. I'm sure they're going to have lots of options. All right, this is the official band of the Tournament of Roses Parade from Pasadena City College, led by director Kyle Luck. They have been a part of this parade since 1930. That's 96 years. They got 225 musicians. Let's give them a listen.
Isn't it? The flags. That is a physical workout, and they've got quite a long march. This is the start of the parade. They are there with full energy, but they've been here for hours this morning, staging and getting into place.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, Pasadena City College.
Impressive work on the flags there as well.
225 members of that band. Okay, I love this here. You know you love this here as well. The Budweiser Clydesdales, the world famous, of course, created in 1933, led by Marshall Brady Jansen. They always travel with a total of 10, as they call them, gentle giants.
Yeah, and we saw that Dalmatian, which we often see in the advertisements for Budweiser. So for folks that may have had a Budweiser or two last night on New Year's Eve, cheers to you. Some of you folks may be watching the rebroadcast of this as we air it throughout the day. Maybe you're sleeping in after enjoying a Budweiser. The Clydesdales started in 1933 as a way to celebrate the end of Prohibition in America. The Clydesdale were a way to honor that and promote that, and they still still come year after year. So many Super Bowl commercials and are majestic. They stand 6 feet tall and can weigh 2,000 pounds. All right,
Another winner.
Fantasy Award winner is the Outstanding Display of Fantasy and Imagination, and it comes from the city of South Pasadena. It's called Seize the Day, and you look at the animal buddies here are having their best day ever. They are the oldest self-built float in the parade. They do this themselves, and they started, Christine, back in 1893, in year 3 of the parade.
What's neat about this? 15 different roses on this float. And again, these are volunteers who work on these floats. That's what they brag about with this parade, that it's an all-volunteer team that's sitting there putting each and every flower into place, each and every seed into place. Really a fun thing to do together.
So we're looking at bark, sycamore leaves, bougainvillea flowers, all to make this happen. And a lot of those things are donated from the community. Okay, let's talk about some football. We're seeing right now the float from the University of Oregon, who are participating in the Rose Bowl game later on today. Oregon is an undefeated 12-0 in their first year in the Big Ten. They won the Big Ten championship. They're playing against Ohio State, the Ohio State University, later in the game, and if they win, they will go to the semifinals. Here you see the band from the University of Oregon. Of course, the bowl game, the reason they call it the granddaddy of them all, Christine, the Rose Bowl game, is because it was the first ever postseason game in all of college football. It started back in 1902. It is the most majestic, and it's getting a great matchup today. So let's listen to some of the Ducks.
Best day ever. You saw the theme there on that drum right there. That is the theme of this parade. What I like about this is the members here represent 50 different degree programs at the University of Oregon. A lot of camaraderie when you're in a band. Alex, you know you were in a band.
Yes, and over 200 members of this band marching proudly, and what a debut for Oregon. You know, this was the transition from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten, and a lot of folks dismissed a lot of our schools from out west, and they have been the best in the Big Ten and have a real chance to win the national championship this year. College football is trying out this 12-team playoff. We're seeing how it works and how it doesn't work.
An unpredictable year in football.
I mean, college football is in such a different place now with name and likeness and people getting paid and transfer portals, and the whole thing is different. But the Rose Bowl and the Rose Parade endure. And now we're looking at the Hall of Fame inductees from a bit of a different era in college football. Honored this year is LaMichael James, who is a running back from Oregon, and also Michigan State coach Mark D'Antonio, who led the Spartans to a Rose Bowl victory. You see there, LaMichael giving the O for Oregon, and a lot of Oregon folks here excited to see him. USC's Reggie Bush, also a part of this year's Hall of Fame class, who's supposed to be out here today. Not quite sure why he's not. He was a last-minute scratch. Let's hope that he's okay. He was out with them a couple days ago, being officially inducted. We'll see if he's a part of the Rose Bowl game a little bit later today.
Well, you've done so many stories on him. I think you have his personal number.
Yeah. Well, I was here with him when USC lost the Rose Bowl to Texas. I was a member of a student here, what is widely considered the greatest college football game, or one of the greatest college football games of all time, and one of the greatest Rose Bowls of all time.
Did you say bowl?
Bowl, yes, there we go.
Bowling.
Yeah.
67 million people bowl. And so this is the GoBowling.com float. It is gorgeous. We saw this one also in production. And this is one of those tall floats that they have to lower to make the trek over to the parade and raise it back up. It is really a wonderful float. The theme chosen because the best day ever to a bowler would be to have a perfect game.
Yeah, and which of course would be a 300 if you're able to get that. I haven't come anywhere close to that. I don't know if you've come anywhere close to that.
No.
Mookie Betts can do that, who is
I'm a recreational bowler.
Yeah, who's a Dodger superstar who could also be a professional bowler. And so GoBowling.com is a place where you can go and find out info on where you can find bowling alleys and games and all the rest of it near you. And so this is an opportunity to promote that and promote bowling. The parade continues right now with an entry from Northwest Spotted Drafts. It's their first time in the parade. It's the first time that we've ever seen this breed in the Rose Parade before. The Wilder family in the Pacific Northwest has raised these horses for 60 years, and they're showcasing them right here. There they are on being driven and showcasing this really beautiful Northwest Spotted Draft.
Oh, interesting.
Got a lot of different kinds of horses. We got the Clydesdales, we got Andalusans, we've got
part of a parade.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they all somehow get along.
Alex, we're talking football again.
We continue with the Ohio State University. You can't just say Ohio State. You have to say the Ohio State University. Who are going to be competing in the Rose Bowl game. They come in 11-2 this year. They're the number 8 seed. This is going to be their 12th time that Ohio State and Oregon have met. So the all-time record is Ohio State 9, Oregon 2. But Oregon have won the last 2, including this season. So it's really unclear who's going to win, which is why we watch. But really a great matchup, one of the best matchups in all of the college football playoff, which is happening this year. And we see the Buckeyes are very proud to be out here today and to be represented. Ohio State has been in so many different Rose Parades and Rose Bowls over the year. And they're here with their band as well. They call themselves the best damn band in the land. And USC calls itself the best band in the history of the universe. So they're the best band in the land. They are considered one of the most celebrated and impressive bands in all of college football.
What a history. They go back to the late 1800s. And what I think they came out here for, Alex, is the weather.
Yes.
I'm thinking right now in Ohio, it might be a little chillier than it is here in sunny Southern California.
I take Pasadena over Columbus. So we can listen in to some of the Pride of the Buckeyes. We bring in the mayor of Pasadena, Christine.
Mayor of Pasadena, Victor Gordo, with his wife Kelly and their 2 children. This is really a special time to be the mayor of Pasadena. This is your day. People have worked for an entire year plus to bring this day to the rest of the world. And some VIPs on this float. VIPs, we've got Terry Crews, actor, sports figure. Wife Rebecca Cruz also has a fashion line that she debuted here in Pasadena. And we have, they're longtime Pasadena residents as well. And the famed Jaime Jarrín, his wife Maggie Jarrín, and their son Jorge Jarrín, Baseball Hall of Fame broadcaster.
Yeah, who broadcast the Dodgers in Spanish language for over 60 years. Also lives here in Pasadena. Victor Gordo just won re-election pretty overwhelmingly. And probably the most exciting day of the year to be the mayor of Pasadena has got to be riding in the Rose Parade.
This is a car of locals.
Yes.
You can see why they live in Pasadena. And if you're here and you're driving around the community, it is just a wonderful place to be in Southern California. And in Pasadena came up with the idea for this Rose Parade to bring the weather to the rest of the world in January.
And speaking of cold, Illinois. How about these guys? This is the Lincoln Way Marching Band. They're from the suburbs of Chicago. It's students from 3 different Lincoln Way high schools wearing custom uniforms created specifically for today's parade. They've got 160 members playing, and let's take a listen to them. We are now at the top of the hour, and we want to welcome you back to our continuous coverage of the 136th Tournament of Roses Parade here on Fox 11 locally, airing around the country on Fox stations and streaming on the Fox local app. I'm Alex Michelson.
Thanks for joining us here on New Year's Day. Happy
with the music and the outfits as well. I wonder if we can listen to some of the music playing.
about the flowers. We had a chance to preview these floats as they were going up. 14,000 roses fill the deck. If you've ever received a bouquet of flowers or roses at your desk at work, this is amazing. This is the place for you.
Well, and the smells. Think about how great one bouquet of roses smells, and then you multiply that. So that is reason to come check these floats out at Float Fest over the next 3 days.
And all 37,000 flowers used. Okay, the Tournament of Roses president, Ed Morales. Happy New Year to you and your family, sir. Riding in a 1911 Rambler model, 1965. It's the only one in the world. Nice wave there. He's got that wave down with the family there. How exciting for them. He is a lifelong San Gabriel Valley resident, raised in the city of San Gabriel, graduate of Don Bosco Technical Institute. We'd give them a shout out there. Go Sun Devils.
Christine, not only an alumnus, but a member of the board at Arizona State University. So hopefully they can be here one day playing in the Rose Parade again.
Well, let me take you back to 1987 when I went to Arizona State. We won the Rose Bowl that year, so it was a great year for us.
All right, this is some music. We're really excited about this. The Jackson State University Sonic Boom of the South. You may have seen them performing this year at the Super Bowl with Usher and Alicia Keys. They performed with Motown and NFL games, NBA games, the NAACP Image Awards. A lot of showmanship, a lot of funk. Take it away, guys. Christine, they say in Hamilton, I'm not throwing away my shot. And the folks from Jackson State did not throw away their shot there. They gave that their all. And with respect to all the other bands that have performed today, that was something else.
That's the performance.
They know how to put on a show.
That's why they call them the Sonic Boom.
That's why they were invited to the Super Bowl this year. And I love their little Motown tribute that they were doing as well. We heard a little Get Ready there at the beginning of their performance. And they have performed with the folks from Motown before as well.
That's a workout there, isn't it?
Well, they got to do this for 5 more miles.
Oh, my goodness.
So I don't know how many times they stop and do that, but that really is something. A large band and a band that knows how to perform.
They call it a blend of pageantry and funk that just cannot be matched.
Yeah.
Sonic Boom.
Yeah, they've got 252 members, and you can see why they're so popular with so many different professional sports teams and in so many big productions as well.
Thank you, Jackson State, for coming out to Southern California. I love this here, the history right here of the Buffalo Soldiers. If you don't know their history, let's talk about it right here. They are Black Americans who served in the U.S. military from the Civil War to World War II. These are the new Buffalo Soldiers. Marshall August Simeon Jr., thank you for being here. Hello, gentlemen. I want to wave right back at you there.
Don't you want to sing the Bob Marley song?
Is that what comes to mind here?
Buffalo Soldier.
Yeah, well, this is a 40-volunteer Buffalo Soldier organization. They do a lot of activities to represent the history of this. There are also the 25th Infantry Bicycle Corps.
Now we're going to take you to Mississippi in a special musical performance.
State's two kings, Elvis Presley and B.B. King. With Chapel Hart's soulful melodies and Brandon Bennett's powerhouse vocals, this lush floral tribute from Visit Mississippi, the birthplace of America's music, blends blues, country, and rock and roll.
That's all right, Mama. That's all right with you. That's all right, Mama. Just any way you do. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right now, Mama. Any way you do. The thrill is gone. The thrill is gone away. The thrill is gone away. The thrill is gone.
house. That was so great to see. Just a celebration of music there. We thank them for coming here to Southern California. Hello there. I'm Christine Devine. We are really happy to celebrate the start of the new year here. Happy 2025 to you.